Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do part 2 of my wife Deku had an Omega Stone. In the last part, after the first day with Aizawa, Izuku left his watch at the school because All Might asked him for healing, as well as um, Bakugo getting one for all. I know there is a theory that Bakugo is one of the previous user of One for All, and that's why in the movie Bakugo isn't able to keep One for All. But even if it's said later, I'm basically just going to keep it like that. Simply because, yeah, I prefer him having it. So, the next day, everyone arrives. Bakugo and Izuku arrive. When Izuku arrives, he goes directly to Nezu's office to take back his watch, which he does, and then gets back into class. Then All Might arrives and basically enters and does the same kind of speech as when he arrived in the anime. He tells everyone to get in costume and to come meet him in City B, if I remember correctly. Or was it C? I don't remember. And just told Izuku to follow him since he already has his costume. And so Izuku just kind of swap into his costume and go with All Might. Everyone else basically went and put their costumes. Everyone is with the exact same costume that they had in the anime. Um, and then All Might asks Deku if he knows if Bakugo tried out the quirk yet. And Izuku tells him, I don't know. Does he look fine to you? Which All Might says yes. Why? Which Deku says, because I had to heal him this morning. Why didn't you tell us the quirk was going to harm him? Which All Might basically reacted like, wait, what? You had to heal him? Which Izuku said, yeah, we woke up an hour early just to go to some place where nobody was around just to try the quirk out. We went to the beach and when he used it, his arm was completely broken. If I wasn't there, he would have had a lot of problems, you know? Which All Might said, I was sure he wasn't going to use it until now. Which I was going to tell him later before fighting to not use One for All now and to wait for a bit for him to train with it. But Shizuku said, yeah, well, I told him to try and control it and not go all out. So we'll see about that. His explosions are also a lot stronger, but I'm pretty sure that's normal when it comes to his quirk. And not long after that, basically everyone started arriving. And so All Might explains the tests, looks at Bakugo, and tells, well, actually, no. The same teams are made, so basically the only change will be in the first battle with Bakugo, Izuku, Ida, and Ochako. That both of them will have a lot more power at their disposal. But before leaving, All Might told him kind of close so that nobody else would hear it. Don't use One for All. Um, Izuku told me, well, young Midoriya told me about what you did this morning, and I was actually going to tell you not to use it before we train with it. Which Bakugo said, yeah, we guessed that. You could have told me yesterday. Which All Might said, sorry. You kind of left in a hurry after he healed me. So they go in, and the first thing Izuku says to Ochako is, "Stay out." Which she doesn't get why he's telling that. And then Bakugo just tell Ida, "We jump through the window, we don't stay inside." And then the moment it starts, basically, Ida and Bakugo went to the first floor and jumped out of a window because Izuku basically just made the entire place kind of crumble slowly to the ground just to make sure that nobody would get hurt, but that at least nothing was left to hide in. So All Might did tell Deku that this was dangerous, which Izuku said actually not at all. If you look closely anywhere where they could have landed, I've placed enough plans to basically take their fall for them. So there was no way of them getting hurt unless they tried themselves. Which Bakugo said, "I thought you would do something, but not something like that." Which Oshako just kind of looked at Deku and asked, "What was that?" Which Izuku just said, "Well, we needed to get the bomb and get them out of there. How do you do this? Open the entire place up." So basically everything else happens the exact same except for that one. Because Izuku was literally not going to bother. If it was, do it as fast as you can. He was just going to open it and that's it. So after that, All Might asked Bakugo and Izuku to go to Digaba Beach every well, after school, to always go there and say to their parent that they have that they're literally going to be taught by All Might directly because he thinks their quirk are actually extremely good and blah blah blah. So All Might goes directly to that point, literally not hiding that it's going to be with them, but to not tell it to anyone else, and so that's what they do. So the first night, All Might asks Bakugo to try and charge up, but not to go all out. And Izuku basically tells him, imagine it like, let's say, a glass of water. Fill it up slowly. Don't put all of it at once. It might go over the sides, and or break. Which All Might basically just asked him, um, that's a good analogy, but how do you know that? Which he says that, well, he basically looks at both of them and says, I didn't say everything about my quirk. Which Bakugo says, yeah, I guessed about that. So what is it? And then he says to both of them that the stone can think and scan people. And it basically scanned Bakugo the morning when Izuku healed him, and he explained to him that, well, basically everything about the quirk, well, what is already shown by the quirk, basically. So it doesn't know about Black Whip, Float, and every other quirk that are in it. But that's basically the way Emerald told him that it would be best for Bakugo to use it. So Bakugo basically used it like that, all around his body and controlling the percentage. And he can only use about 2% because hadn't trained beforehand. He was a lot stronger than in the original, but his body still wasn't ready for it. So All Might basically told Bakugo to clean the beach, and that was his training. So Bakugo starts and is told by All Might also no explosions, only your physical strength. So Bakugo just continues. And then All Might asks Izuku to train in a different way. Which Izuku asked, "What?" And he said, "I want you to try and heal as much thing as you can. Like, let's say, try to heal a plant or something like that that is broken." Which Izuku says that's not how it works. Which All Might asks, "So it's only on human?" Which Izuku says, "No, that's not the problem. It's just that I cannot heal a plant. I can heal anything alive, yes, but if I just broke a branch, I won't heal the tree. I'm just going to kind of fix over it. Hmm. Like, let's say someone lost an arm, literally. I would be able to regrow it, but it would take everything out of me. But let's say someone, a plant, or anything like that has an illness or a virus. That I could heal it extremely easily, depending on what type it is. So, after a bit, All Might gets it and is like, so the only way to train that one is to do it on people that are actually sick. Which Izuku says, yeah, basically. Which All Might decides to think and says, well, I think there's a hospital nearby. What if we decide to go there to train it? Which both Izuku and Bakugo kind of looks at him and think, what? Then All Might says that he has a friend in that hospital, and he knows that there is a weird illness that's been going around, affecting only old people, and they're trying to find a way to help them. There is a vaccine on the way, but those that are about to die from it, but that would still live longer, could be helped by you. So would you be ready to do that for your training? Which Deku accepts. So All Might brings him there. They enter. All Might asks for a specific doctor, which they call for him. When he arrives, he basically tells him that this young boy has a healing quirk, and we want to see how strong it is. Which the guy says, "Are you sure it's okay for you to be in your hero status? You, your injury would be is extremely bad." Which All Might says, well, basically they went into a room that nobody will hear anything, and he says, actually he healed it. So we want to see how far it can go, if it can only cure physical problem or if it can cure illness. Which the doctor is like, oh, so you're able to go hero well, all day now? Which All Might says, yes, I can do it perfectly now. And then the guy asks, so what do you want him to try and heal? Which All Might explains about the old patients that are extremely, well, in extreme danger because of the illness, blah blah blah. The guy says he can try, but we don't know how far it can go. Which they go and meet one of them, and Emerald scans the body and says that if he tries to heal those persons, it will take us a good part of his energy, but he could at least heal about 20 of them without being before having to stop for a while. So Deku basically tells them that, well, he heals the first one, then says that he might only be able to do like 20 more or something for today. which the doctors say that should be fine. There's actually not a lot of them. It's a rare illness that only some people get. So he heals the 9 other patients, and then All Might says, is there any other people that would be in need of healing like this? It would be good to see how far he can push it. Which the guy says, well, we do have someone with a cancer. He can always try that. Which Emerald then kind of goes into Izuku's mind and see what a cancer is. And Emerald, before even seeing the patient, says that could be a bit hard. Izuku asks what he means, and Emerald says that when he's stronger, those would be pretty easy, but for the strength that he has now, he might, well, he has about 25% chance if he heals someone that has something like this, depending on what it is actually for cancer. There's 25% chance that he turns back into his stone. So he says, well, we'll see how it looks like, and we'll see then. They go there and they basically just see a young woman that's basically just kind of a bit sad because she doesn't have the money for any treatment. And it's not a final stage or something like that, it's beginning stage. And Emerald scans her and says, oh, this should be fine, but probably not something stronger than this for now. Which the doctor says, well, asks, so you don't have any way of paying if we want to do the treatment? Which she basically crying, she says no, she's already tight on money and stuff like that. And then he says that this young man is trying his quirk. He has a healing quirk, and we wouldn't actually ask for money if he is able to heal you, since he's only trying it out. He's basically doing us a favor right now. So if you can, would it be okay for you, well, for him to heal you? It if it works, you won't actually have to spend any money on it, which she accepts because she's tight on money. And Deku is able to heal her with a bit of, well, it is hard for him, but he is able to do it. After that, they leave. All Might ask him how he feels, and Deku says he's exhausted. He has a lot of stamina normally, but healing something like that takes a lot out of him. So he's probably not going to continue trying to do that. Anyway, his power is just going to augment on its own over time. He just needs to train everything else. So All Might tells him that if he wants, he can just kind of train out in the open on the beach without helping Bakugo. And Izuku does that. So it took about like 40 minutes for them to go there and get back to the beach. So Bakugo didn't do that much, but he still trained. They only wanted to do this for an hour a day. And so later they leave, and they do that all the way up until the moment where they choose the class president. Basically everything happens the exact same, and Ida gets class president. And then they go for the USJ. Izuku still has his watch on, like always. And so they start going, well, they start talking about their quirk. So you ask Izuku about his quirk precisely. And Izuku tells them that over time he'll probably just get more and more powers, since he only started with speed and strength, and then he was able to control plants, minerals, earth, and being able to transform into those. Then he gained healing, and now he's just continuing to train. And for them, they basically think that, okay, yeah, he's strong. Then they arrive at the USJ, they are introduced to 13. They enter, then they see Kurogiri. Emerald says that they have a lot of ill intents. And then Izuku tells everyone to run. Then the doors are blocked. And the moment they see the doors are blocked and that Aiza was fighting in the middle, Izuku basically just kind of pushes the door open, like literally just kind of goes through them and tells Ida to run. And before Ida's even able to respond anything, Kurogiri starts to absorb everyone in his portal except some students. So every student that were sent to different place in the USJ were. The rest of the people were saved by 13. And then everyone started running away. 13 didn't get hurt this time, and they left because Kurogiri was called by Shigaraki to leave them alone, and since they already have some students, and to just wait for All Might. So, when Izuku arrives in the water, the first thing he thinks is just go up. He sees the villains arriving and basically turns himself into metal completely and just well, no. When he arrives in the water, he basically falls all the way to the bottom because of the watch weighing 2 tons. At the bottom, he sees the villains arriving and he just decides that, you know what? No more water. And basically hits on the ground and just kind of makes a hole. And all of the water just kind of goes around and around and around, going all the way down. Tsuyu and Mineta going on the boat and basically being brought in the wormhole that is created. Izuku basically just sees the hole is basically big enough for humans to pass on easily. And they basically he just made them it so that there's like about a foot of water left in the pool. So they get down there, but they can come out easily. He just basically made it so that he was able to move. Since even if he is able to move that much, in water it's still a problem. So once the water goes all in, um, he looks at you and Mineta and tells them to get to the shore, and he basically jumps all the way there, since he is able to jump all the way there easily, even with 2 ton on him. It's just because he cannot swim with that much on him for now. He will later, but not for now. When they arrive there, first thing, there's no water for them to stay on, so they're basically on the side. Shigaraki saw the entire water going down, and then just saw all 3 of them, and so he said to the Nomu to go and kill them. The Nomu was attacking Aizawa, so um, The Nomu stopped attacking Aizawa and went straight for Deku, Mineta, and Tsuyu, and Deku tried to punch him out. And the shock absorption kind of happened. Deku was hit by the Nomu but didn't have that much problem. Well, he did get hurt a lot, but he was still perfectly okay to fight. And then, before he was able to get back there, he just saw Tsuyu get hit. Well, yeah, hit. She basically went to protect Mineta, got hit herself. Mineta was kind of brought with her. She was on the side, almost dying. Not dead yet, but dying. And all he saw was rage. Shigaraki told him to finish the job with that one, pointing to Izuku. Aizawa was scared and tried to stop him with his quirk. But the moment the Nomu arrived close to Deku, yeah, it doesn't finish well for him. Deku basically became sand and started absorbing it. The Nomu tried to fight back, and then Izuku looked at the brain. Well, Emerald scanned the Nomu, said that it was just a monster and to just destroy the brain, and Izuku basically just made a sword with his hand and chopped it in half. Let go of the Nomu, grabbed Tsuyu, and the first thing he thought was, how do I save her? And then tried to heal her. Emerald stopped it and said, if you try to do that, you will go back into your stone for way too long and she might not even be healed completely. She might die even then. There's no way for you to heal her by yourself right now. And then he thinks, which stone is good for her? And Emerald thinks, are you sure? And literally he screams it out loud. Which one? Which Emerald basically responds, Sapphire. Mineta was basically knocked out. Nobody was able to hear anything that he said. A lot of people saw how Tsuyu was. Bakugo came out a lot earlier from where he was and basically saw all of it happened. And then he saw Deku grabbing the watch and starting to mess with it. And then it opened. And even from far away, he was able to see two small lights glowing, a red one and a blue one. He took the blue one, closed the watch, and basically placed it on her chest. And he was just thinking, work, 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 work. Which, after a bit, it did enter, and then started healing her body, but extremely slowly, but at least keeping her alive. He didn't even ask her, he just placed it there because if she dies, it's really bad. He didn't even care at that moment, it was just save someone. She basically regained consciousness like 2 minutes after, when Bakugo arrived next to Deku, then asked him what that was. Then she asked what happened and said that her body feels weird. And then he looked around and said, I'm going to say this to both of you, don't say it to anyone. Then he looked at Tsuyu and said, now you're on the secret. You're going to die. I gave you the same thing that gave me my powers, but a different one. And then opened the small hole that he had that I talked about in the last episode and showed Emerald. And then he said that she has the sapphire. That's Her powers are going to be a bit different than his, but the basic are kind of the same. But at least she's going to heal. And that when all of it is going to be over, after some days, she's going to start hearing a voice basically telling her things, and that it's actually the stone, which then Bakugo said, so that's the big secret behind your watch. You have those inside of it. Which Izuku says, yeah, I have one more of it. Which Tsuyu asks, so what's going to happen now? Which he says, for now you heal. But this is a secret. Please don't tell it to anyone. There's only four people on the secret, 5 people on the secret that the stone exists. And one of them doesn't even know that, well, 5. Izuku, Nezu, All Might, Tsuyu, and Bakugo. So yeah, 5. And one of them only knows that his quirk is that. So he tells her that nobody must know about it, to keep it a secret as much as possible, and that the rules are going to be explained to her later. So she kind of gets it and says, okay. Then All Might arrived. He saw the new moon dead. 2 students underground basically looking like they passed out. Mineta, yes, but Tsuyu was about to die. Saw Deku, and then saw Shigaraki, and he wasn't smiling. And Shigaraki was seeing that, and he got scared. Because right now, 2 students of his might be dead, and he wasn't there to protect them. So what is he going to do? Punch the shit out of the person that harmed them. All that Shigaraki was able to say is, Kurogiri, we're leaving. And Kurogiri took him. So after a bit, every other hero arrived. Every student were saved. Then some medics arrived to try and see if Tsuyu was alright. Which Aizawa was basically saying that she might have died, blah blah blah. And then he basically just saw Izuku help her up after a bit. And when they passed next to him, he asked, how? Which Izuku basically goes down next to Aizawa and says, healing. And started healing him. Which the injuries on Aizawa's are bad, but not as bad as what she had. Because she basically got the full blunts of his attack, and she isn't as strong as Aizawa. So yeah, one last stone to give. One more person is in on the secret, and he tells her that if people start questioning it, because she is going to get a lot more powers now. So she basically says to Aizawa that the way she healed her precisely is actually by giving her some of his blood, and basically because he can heal himself. So she might actually get some of his powers later, or develop the same type of powers, because his blood is kind of like reacting with his powers completely, which Aizawa asked why, and just a lie, he said that at one point his blood actually fell on the ground and somewhere and plants starting to grow there, like almost instantly. So Aizawa said so she might get more quirks because of this, which Izuku says, yeah, so if that starts happening, I think it's going to be needed for you to explain to multiple people, and kind of laugh nervously, which Aizawa just takes it that, yeah, his quirk is the weirdest thing ever, so that might be able to happen. So not long after that, they basically get told that they have a week out of school, and this is where I'm going to end it. So yeah, Tsuyu has the Sapphire Omega Gem, well, Omega Stone. The USG basically happened um, in a way that kind of made it hard for anyone else to kind of see what happened. All Might was told about the stone given to Tsuyu because he decided to actually tell him that there's two more, as well as saying it to Bakugo. And so all four of them are on the secret. So, yeah, there's one stone left. In the next episode, I'm going to tell you the power she will get. Since for her, the powers will be, well, she will get the power in less than a week compared to Izuku that took more than that. Because basically, the first power they get is basically strength, speed, control, creation, and transformation into specific elements. Her, specifically, she has ice and water that she can control, transform, and create, but I don't remember for sure what are the stats on strength and speed, so I'll tell you that in the next one. Hope you liked it, leave a like if you did. Natsu, out.